on this computer. Amazing. So there's my official welcome, everyone, to this lesson that you're getting today on how to gua sha your face. I hope that you guys all have the oil right now on you, and I'm not the only one doing this on camera. And I know some of you are worried that I'm going to have all of you on camera doing this together. Obviously, I'm only going to put my face on here. I don't want to see you guys drooling all over the camera in front of strangers. So you get to do this in the privacy of your own home. Half of you are in bed right now. It's amazing. Thanks for having me there. I don't take it lightly. All right. Make sure that you get your neck as well. If you didn't have enough oil, to make sure that you have it on your neck. Get it all the way down and then onto the collarbones as well. Okay. We need to make sure that we're gliding in all of these different places, because the muscles in our face do not stop on the face. A lot of them are attaching down into the neck, into the collarbone in some cases, and then some back on the spine. And we're not going to be doing anything on the back of the neck or the spine really today, so we don't have to worry about that. I did have some people ask me in my last live when I did it with those in Peace of Mind method if there's a special way to put oil on. I have seen it on social media. People want you to dab, but that has to do with like wrinkle prevention, and that's not really why we're doing this, even though we all don't want to have wrinkles, but you know what I mean. Okay, you can put the oil on in any way that you prefer. Okay, now that you have the oil on, we're all going to take our gua sha. I'm not going to mirror. I'm just going to use my right hand. You're going to use your right hand as well. Okay, and we're going to start by finding this really chunky muscle right here called the SCM. Okay, it's when you turn your head one direction, it should bulge out. You should be able to pinch it. And you're going to place that muscle in between the teeth of the gua sha, and we're just going to start sliding up and down. Okay, you want to find that relaxed position for your muscle. And this is one of the biggest muscles in the neck. Obviously, you can see it when you're turning. And it's being used all the time. It's being used when we talk. Anatomically, you can see that it's going to be attached up into the jaw. So a lot of us that have jaw pain, we have to make sure that we're massaging this area as well, instead of just always focusing straight inside that space. Okay, you want to be going deep enough that it's like you feel it, you're not choking yourself, and it's not hurting. It just feels like it's gliding. And as you can see already on the camera, my neck is getting a little bit more red here. Okay, so we're looking for that blood flow to change. And we're going to start to take it along the front of the neck. Get super light when you move over the bone structures in the front, and then switch over to the left side. You can switch the hands if you want to. Make sure you're grabbing the meat of that muscle. The last time I did this live, I had all of my patients' faces hovering in the front so we could chat while we do this. And now I recognize that I can't see any of you, so I can't correct what you're doing, but I'm going to try my best based on all the mistakes that I have seen. And I won't be able to ask you how it's going, but you'll be able to let me know after. Again, you can slide it through the front along the bones lightly, and then just give it a brush up and down. You can go a little bit to the side. These are your scalene muscles here. This is where a lot of you are getting headache pain from. Okay, again, if you don't have a gua sha, and I said I would teach you how to do it without, you can use your fingertips to do this as long as you have oil. You can use your knuckles, anything that glides. Again, take it through the center and then bring it over to that left side. Find those scalenes. Those are those stringy muscles that are going to pop out when you move your neck. And then we're going to give it a flat brush along the side of the neck and the front with the inner edge. Okay, so everyone's going to have that part of their gua sha that kind of scoops low here. And you're just going to go light. Okay, the reason why we always start with the neck here is because we're trying to drain out lymphatic fluid before we start moving out of the face. And that really just comes from like like there's a right order of doing things. Obviously, we're not using this for acne, but sometimes you will notice that if you're doing a lot of facial gua sha and not getting rid of the lymphatic drainage that's being held in the neck, we can see acne build up, especially when you're putting product in your face. So make sure that you always start with the neck. Okay, we're going to start to take the center of the gua sha, and I want you to go that super pointy edge that you have, and I want you to bring it right underneath the chin. Okay, so I'm right in that guppy area, or some of you turn sideways and you're like, please don't catch my side profile. We're going to find that muscular tissue there, and I want you to give it a nice press. Okay, you're going to notice that your tongue moves when you do this. And I want you to separate and relax your teeth and the jaw, okay? So I know I wrote about it in the Facebook group and in the email that I sent you guys, but the sensation that I used to get, this choking feeling in my throat, which a lot of you might have, it kind of feels like you have something stuck when you're trying to swallow and you can't get it out. Sometimes that can actually be caused by these muscles here. They scoop back and pull into the neck and attach to the vertebrae in the neck, okay, and the cartilage in the throat, which ends up pulling the throat backward. Can you kind of imagine that? It's like a sling around the muscles, and it would be pulling them in the backward direction. And that can make you feel like you're choking, okay? Even though there's nothing actually happening inside there, the tightness can make it feel that way. So you want to find those muscles and just give them a trigger point release by holding hard and then releasing. Okay, again, holding hard, push it into where you can tolerate, and then release. And you can do that a little bit and jiggle it around. It's not going to feel the best. It's going to be a little bit of discomfort when you do that, but we want to make sure that we're catching that muscle. It's kind of slinging like a V on the bottom of the jaw. We want to make sure we're hitting the tendon, not the muscle, because when we push into tendons, the muscle relaxes. That's a lesson for a different day. From here, I want you to switch the gua sha so that we are cupping with this little heart underneath the chin. And again, you're going to wiggle and push and try and find that trigger point that's a little bit less central to the guppy and more close to the bone at the tip of the chin. Now, using that grip, you can choose to hold your chin or not. I don't really care to, but some people like to make sure that their face isn't being stretched or the skin's not being stretched. We're going to start to glide, not with the pressure on the jaw, but the pressure underneath the chin. Okay? And I want you to try and find any of those muscles underneath that jawline that sound like they're making a crunchy noise. And you can get creative with how you're gliding here. But that focus is more underneath that jawline here, not on the actual jaw. So we're trying to go under and slide and find any trigger points. Because again, those are those muscles that are going to be wrapping around the throat bones, the cartilage, and pulling them back, creating that sensation of choking. If you want to take a quick break and let me know in the chat, are there any of you in here that have that choking feeling when you get super anxious? Like your throat's closing or like you can't swallow something properly? I used to have it all the time. It was like unremitting. I couldn't focus on anything. And I did a lot of things to try and get rid of it. And this was finally the thing that worked for me, which was so interesting at the end of the day that it became anatomical versus what all the doctors thought, which was something's going on inside of you that's making you feel like you're choking. Switch sides. We're going to keep the hook. You're just going to go on the opposite direction. Again, keep the focus underneath the jaw. I'm going to keep sliding. I see a question coming in. We have Brittany saying, I didn't realize I had that until now. Yeah, your face is going to feel so different when you're done this. And that's the most exciting part, is like you actually feel the results right away, which is amazing. Some of you might even be realizing that you're already more relaxed and like your eyes are a little bit softer and you're starting to drool a little bit. It's a good place to be. Okay, we're going to bring it back to the center. I want you to take that heart on your chin. Again, you can hold it or not, and we're going to start to slide up and down the jaw. Again, you can go as hard as you want until you feel that little, it's almost crackling, okay? That's going to be your fascia and the fat and the face and the bone, and all is okay to move it around. You don't want to be going so hard that you're causing a bruise, but we want it to be good enough that you're starting to see the skin color change. I want you to hold at the top of the jaw, and you're going to start to circle in that jaw area. And a lot of you might not even be noticing that you're doing this right now, but I want you to separate your teeth and let your tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth so that the jaw is actually letting go. And then we're going to slide that same piece that you have here all the way behind the jaw. Okay, so we're going that space between the jaw and the earlobe. And when you're in there, gonna be a little bit uncomfortable. For some of you, it's gonna be really uncomfortable. If you have TMJ, or you guys grind your teeth at night because you're anxious sleepers and you don't even know that your nervous system is active while you're sleeping, find that spot and really give it a slow circle. And then from here, I want you to go a little bit higher till you feel another pocket open up, and again, separate those teeth. So you are getting in between the joint right now in the jaw. This is always so weird to film because my face is trying to relax too, but I'm like, oh. Start again to draw up and down through the jaw. And then switching over to the left side. Smooth up and down motion. You got to really go for a feeling here. You know, there's a lot of people will be like, oh, you got to do it on this angle so it does this thing. It's like, no, go for what feels right, both in your hand and on your jaw. I wonder if you guys can hear the crunchies happening in my AirPods right now. And then we're going to hold up in that jaw space, go right on the meat of the muscle, and start to circle. You might even notice when you're doing this that the right side feels completely different from the left. I know some of you might notice that you get headaches on one side versus the other, right? So there's no rule of thumb here. Those facial muscles are just doing their own thing. Now think about how close your brain is to your face. Like your facial muscles are getting that signal so fast that you don't even notice that you're tensing muscles throughout the day, right? Like if you were tensing your quad while you were sitting in a chair, you might notice after a while being like, wow, that muscle's really tired. I should relax it or change my position. Slide that behind the joint and keep circling. So right behind, move out of the way, AirPod, right behind the jaw, between the earlobe. So like I was saying, you might notice that your leg muscles are really tensed up and they should switch and like relax and shift positions, but you don't notice it about your face as much. That's what mindfulness is really good for. And also this, because it trains your muscles to let go. Slide a little bit higher. Find that spot right in front of the ear. Get into that joint space. Push nice and deep if you can tolerate it. And then start to flush up and down that jawline. Bring it back to the center. Hook the chin. And I want you to push straight directly in toward your face. Again, separate the teeth. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. And then we're going to start sliding again up to the right. This time I want you to go more on the cheek. You're going to find those muscles that are in between. A lot of people think that the cheek is just fat. It's not. It's filled with a lot of muscles. And we use these a lot when we talk, and when we smile, and when we frown, and when we cry. So we need to make sure that we are actually massaging these. And how many of you actually massage your cheeks? Like, please Google cheek massage and tell me that you're actually doing what's required for your face. From here, we're going to hook that cheekbone, okay? That heart is going around the bone, and I want you to slide it up all the way to the temple and then back to the cheekbone. Push in, slide all the way up, and then back to the cheekbone. Okay, you can keep doing this motion as slow or as fast as you want. We're trying to move in that upward direction only. Pausing up on top of that temple, find the top of that heart in the gua sha and start to circle. And this is going to be really good for anyone who gets tension headaches, because your temporalis muscle right here is attached to so many parts of the head. And then the fascia connects to a lot in the back of the neck. Some of us get it on one side or the other, or we get like a band around the whole head. So great spot to do. From here, I want you to take that same part of the heart and lift it up into the hairline, just up on a diagonal. Okay, we're still looking for that soft tissue. This muscle, temporalis, also attached to the masseter in your jaw. So make sure Everything is letting go as you do this. I don't even care if my face is my face is melting at this point. Just touching on this, I was like, I forget the English language. And bring it back down onto that cheekbone through the center, switching over to the opposite side, hooking the left cheekbone, and then pulling in, sliding up all the way toward the temple. Again, watch those teeth if they're clenching. Pause at the top of that temple, hold it there, use the top of the heart to circle. Separate the teeth. Relax the center of the forehead. Close your eyes if you have to. I mean, I'm the only one who's got to keep my eyes open, really. Actually, I don't. Can't see any of you anyway. Slide up on the diagonal and find that soft spot. You're still in that temporalis muscle. A lot of us just forget about it because our hair is covering it. So we're like, we don't go here. You need it. Think about it for the tension headaches. And bring it back to the center. I want you to place the heart underneath the nose. If you have an asymmetrical one and you prefer to use that side, it's fine. The flat side. Realize how scary that looked. Looks like a duck. And then we're going to start sliding up and down. Think about your frown lines here, okay? So like the smile and the frown, we're trying to follow those. Again, overused muscle when we're showing emotion. Now, the interesting thing about the muscles in the face is not only is the brain sending a signal to the face muscles and tensing them when the nervous system's activated, but the muscles also send a signal back to the brain, which is crazy because sometimes your face can send a signal to your brain that you're in a bad mood when you're not. Or it can be sending a signal to your brain that you're stressed when you're not. When I move this out of my lips, I'm going to keep talking to you about that because I told this to my Peace of Mind Method members last week. I think it's a really cool, and we'll talk about it when we go up here in the forehead. Bring it back to the center. I want you all to use that same flat edge, okay? And we're going to start to slide up. Okay, this is your glabella area. Now, this is the interesting thing that came out that I saw in a research study. They actually picked people with a personality disorder, people who would say that their mood is dysregulated a lot of the time, or that they're upset or angry, feeling emotional, yada yada. Okay, I'm getting more relaxed. I can think less and less at this current time. But what the research showed was that people were saying in the survey that were part of the study that they were in a worse mood when they noticed that their forehead was tense here. So an intervention that they implemented was they did Botox in the center of the forehead in this muscle. And after the Botox, people started reporting that they were in better moods more often without any other changes. And what that kind of showed us, interestingly enough, is that the signal that was coming from the forehead, so close to the brain, was signaling to these people that they were in bad moods just because of their body language and facial structure, even when they weren't. So people who did this a lot, okay, so if you have a chronically tense forehead, so worth it to be relaxing and doing trigger release in this area. I am not condoning Botox by any means at this point, but I am saying that that is a very fascinating research study that they did on that. This is also amazing for tension headaches for those of you that get like that center of the forehead pain or even sinus pain in this region and up into the forehead. They're all connected. Now from here, I want you to take your right eyebrow and you're going to hook it inside the gua sha. Again, you can hold with the finger in the center or you can keep it open. It's up to you. And we're going to slide as much as you can tolerate. Keep it gentle because you're in your eye region, but you're going to slide over the eyebrow. The next time you slide, pause over on the side and again do the temple region. Circles. Back through the center, switching over to the left, hook that eyebrow and slide. Holding over at the temple, circles. Back to that flat side of the gua sha, starting to flush again, up and down. Finding the entire forehead all the way through the temples, up and down. You can go as slow as you want, no rush. And bring it back to the center. We're going to hold slightly underneath the line of the eyebrow. Some of you, if you have that equal symmetrical gua sha, you're going to want to hook and just press in. You can find small circles, or you can just rock it side to side. Totally up to you. But we want to be pressing straight into that muscle right between the eyebrows. If you're going in circles in one way, switch directions. And then bring it back to the center, flat side, up and down. Bring the gua sha down through the center of the nose, flat side. I want you to slide up. And we're going to make our way all the way down the face gradually toward the jaw. And then again, back from the top, gradually sliding down. And then take the gua sha down that initial muscle in the neck. Finding the sides, finding slightly behind the neck at this point. Stuffy whale everywhere. Find the flat side if you want to get more surface area as you're sliding. And then keep the flat side on the left, starting at the top near the cheekbone, sliding down toward the jaw. And again, cheekbone, cheek, and jaw. Making your way down to the neck. Find the SCM. Find those scalenes. And if you want to try the longer side for more surface area, run with the wind. While we're on this side, get the pointiest part of the gua sha all the way in toward the jaw. Get nice and deep. Slide toward the chin. Again, hook underneath. Slide toward the chin. Last time, hook and slide, and then switching directions on that right. Hook, slide it down. Last time. Keep it in your right hand. We're going to find the collarbone. You can either hook with the gua sha or you can go completely underneath. And I want you to slide from the center out. Now, the reason that we do this at the end is because we have a lymph node. That's like the final drainage lymph node on top and underneath the collarbone. So we want to make sure that nothing's getting stuck here. Switching over to the opposite side. And again, you're watching me switch hands. There's no rule of thumb. You can just do what's dominant, what feels right for you. I just prefer to sometimes have things out of the way. Go more to the flat side if you want to cover more surface area. Again, on the right, sliding. Switch it over, left. Bring it back through the center. Place any part of the gua sha, push it straight into that center of your sternum. Your thymus gland is underneath here. I just want you to close your eyes. You can push hard if you want. And take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Release the gua sha off of the chest and slowly open the eyes. Now, I want you to type in the chat right now. Just tell me how you're feeling. Okay? I want to hear from you. I want to know what's up. So relaxed. So I would say that feeling that nervous system, like, I mean, you saw me on camera, you watched what happened as I was going through this. Like, my brain slowly was like, I'm going offline. It really activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Not only because your face is sending the signal back to your nervous system that you're relaxed, but you are activating the vagus nerve in different areas as you're moving through the jaw, as you're moving down through the chest cavity, as we're moving through the neck. Okay. So there is that nerve component, but there is also the muscular component. And then at the same time, a lot of us have those symptoms like the throat tightness, like the jaw pain, like the headaches. That contributes to more anxiety. Okay. And that's more nervous system dysregulation. So we're getting two sides of the same coin as we're doing this. Make sense? I see some questions popping into the Q&A. Amazing. New things to help you relax. If you have not done the video that I posted in the Facebook group about neck stretching and how to activate the vagus nerve and doing that, this is probably one of the best things to couple with this type of activity so that you're actually opening the muscles and lengthening them while you're massaging them. We have to do both. And the more signals that you're sending in that right area code, you are going to get the results that you want. Okay. Not saying you have to do this every day, but it is going to be a really great activity for you to start looking into if you do get tension headaches, if you do get that throat sensation, if you do get jaw pain, especially if you're like a nighttime clencher and you can't control it. Like, yeah, sure. During the day, great. You're like, I can make sure that every hour I'm unclenching my teeth and I'm relaxing my jaw. But you can't control that when you're sleeping if your nervous system's activated. So we have to retrain those muscles, let them relax, teach them how, let go of the trigger points, show them that they don't have to clench. Okay. So these are all going to play a role. If you didn't have a gua sha, it's fine. You can still do the whole activity. I've done it before with my knuckles. You just use the knuckles in the exact same way, or you can use the thumb muscle. Or I recorded it. You can do this video again when you get your gua sha delivered to your house or go to a store and grab one. I'm sure it'll be super easy to do that. They are very popular. Okay. So I hope you all feel super relaxed, ready to get into bed or watch your murder documentary, whatever the heck you're going to do tonight. It has been lovely to spend half an hour with you chilling out. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me them on Facebook. If you want to pop them into the chat super quick, I can answer them now. Other than that, I hope you all have a lovely sleep. A lovely sleep. My tongue is broken. See, that's what I want to see happen to you. I want your whole brain and body to go bleh, so that you can actually let go. Like, even though your mind's racing, you can still be chill at the same time. Okay? So I hope you all enjoyed. Have a lovely evening, everyone. If you are in a different country and it's morning, good morning. Have a great day. And I will see you guys at the next live. Bye-bye.